Jules. I am back with another week of Jewel TV. I am so excited for this week's video. As you can see by the headline, we are going to be talking about domestic violence resources. So, I know last video I shared a story that I never told before about a domestic violence situation that I went through, and I know I said in the video that I would do a separate video that would have just information, valuable information, that it is good for anybody who's going through this, or if you know somebody who's going through domestic violence. This is very good information to share. So we're gonna jump right into it, because you know me, I don't waste no time. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. There are a lot of resources out there, but the main one that I know of now, which I didn't know, you know, sometimes you're like, man, doesn't everybody know that? But when I started going, when I was going through my situation, I didn't know anything, any resources, any hotline numbers, nothing. I didn't even know there was stuff out there for people going through domestic violence. So I'm gonna share with you what I know, what I found, and I hope it helps. I hope you were able to share it with somebody. I hope it's just knowledge that you just have stored in your brain whenever you need it. So we're gonna jump right into this. The first one is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. National. So it's a 1-800 number. I'm gonna give you that number right now. My suggestion, if you're in a situation that you're trying to get out of and you're afraid of your partner, and or afraid that they will do something because they found this number, my suggestion, you could store this under a different name. You could store it on Pizza Hut, whatever the case may be. But store this number in your phone because it's useful. You can call it, and they will connect you to the local resources that you need. If it's an emergency, they'll take it from there. So the hotline number is 1-800-799-7233, and that's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So please share it. I think everybody should know and be aware of it and have it just in case. You never know. And then they also have a website called the hotline.org, and they have very, very, very good information. You know, I've been doing videos about red flags and, you know, what to look out for in your abuser, and you know, they take it a step further and they really break it down. You know, telling you what a healthy relationship is, having a link with just resources that you can find, and they're very good. They even have a safety feature on here that I love. So if you're on the website and you're at home and your abuser is walking in through the door, you can easily hit the escape button or the X key on your computer, and it will wipe out and go straight to Google search engine. So I think that is great. They really think outside of the box about, you know, how can we put this out there but also be safe for the victims who may need it. So that is a great thing. I really love this website. So, and that's the National Domestic Violence Hotline, the hotline.org. Oh, and even now they have, during, you know, right now it's COVID-19, and you know, those who are stuck home, either lost their job or forced to quarantine, you know, the domestic violence rates are going up. And they have a lot of good resources, and maybe I'll do a separate video on that. Just, you know, how are we getting through this pandemic right now for those who are in toxic relationships or in abusive relationships. But they do have great, if you want to look it up for yourself, they have great information and things to look out and be aware of. You know, there was one story that I read that, you know, this woman's abuser, he's using COVID-19 to as a scare tactic. You know, you're not going to go out there. You can't go out and see your family. You can't go out and visit anybody because you can catch COVID. And it's just another way to control this victim. And it's a tactic that can be used. So, and another one was that was shared was that the abuser beat her up because he believed that she was trying to give him COVID. So these are real life situations and things going on during this time, real real now time. And it's the information is needed so you can catch this, so you can find out how to reach out for help if you're going through the situation. So Hotline. Another great website is nomore.org. I love this website, and they kind of caught my attention a couple of years ago. They did a Super Bowl commercial, and it started off, you watching the commercial and it's a lady ordering pizza, but she called 911 because she was in a domestic violence situation and she needed help ASAP. And so she calmly called 911 but pretended to order pizza. And thank God the operator, he caught on, and he was like, okay, I get it, I'm sending, because he kept asking questions, and she was just like, extra pepperoni please. And he's like, are you okay? Is the person still there? Yes, you can come right away. It was a very good tactic that it just caught my eye, and I was like, wow. So they're nomore.org, and they are also another great website for information. They're kind of similar to the Hotline, but they focus on not just domestic abuse, but sexual abuse. And I love that about them. They have statistics, they have resources, they have those red flags, they have, you can do a little a test, if you will, like, am I in an abusive relationship? Is this really? And so they have that stuff there. So I love it. And like I said, that tactic was amazing. If you're ever in an emergency situation, or you just had enough and you need help, you can call the authorities and pretend to order pizza. And I think it's starting to be recognized, and the 911 operators, they are starting to know, okay, if I get a strange call like this is probably a domestic violence situation, and they send the cops out to be at your aid. So I think that's a great tactic to know and a great resource. So that's nomore.org. Then if you want to find a shelter, there are a lot of shelters, domestic violence shelters. No matter what city you're in, no matter what state you live in, you can find domestic violence shelters through this website, which is domesticshelters.org. And so you pull it up, you can put in your zip code, and they'll pull up the nearest emergency shelters near you that focus on domestic violence. And so for example, in Georgia, there are 35 domestic violence shelters. And right now they have their COVID-19 discretion up. They don't have a lot of beds open right now because of COVID, but it's a great resource to see what's around you if you ever needed it. And then in the Atlanta area, there are a total of 6 domestic violence shelters. So I remember I utilized a domestic violence shelter once, and I was newly pregnant with my oldest, and my abuser at the time, he was in jail. But I was like, okay, I need to find a place. So I found this shelter that helped women who were pregnant and who were also going through abuse. They helped you, not only did they just house you, but they helped you find an apartment, a place to stay, a place to pay rent. So that was a good place when I was living in New York. So the shelters, they're not just there to house you, but they have good information to help you get through. I know I had access to a lawyer that I can go and ask and get free legal advice from a lawyer. So they're really good. So that's domesticshelters.org. And then in New York, I'm originally from New York, now I live in Georgia, but there's 72 in New York, 72 shelters in New York. So, but regardless of where you live, this website, like I said, you put in your zip code and they'll find the shelters that are near you. So if you ever need emergency get out and somewhere to stay, please utilize this, because A lot of people don't leave because they're like, where am I going? Where am I going to go? But you have somewhere to go. There is a safe haven, a safe place out there for you. And then they have also statewide domestic violence website. So there's one for Georgia that I found, which is gcadv.org. And once again, they have a lot of local resources that are available to you, organizations that help women and men who are in domestic violence situations. And I love it. 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 So that is some of the resources that will help you through whatever toxic relationship you're dealing with right now. They have a lot of these websites, these resources. They have a lot of good information, and they can easily link you. It's amazing. Like, I love the national hotline. It's just like, okay, it's not just that, but I can link you to wherever you are, whatever resources or that are near you. So I love that. So please share this video if you know someone, like I said, who's dealing with this, or if you're dealing with it. Now you have the knowledge and now you have the information. I wish I stumbled across a video or a website, whatever, at the time when I really desperately needed it, but I had no clue that this stuff was out there. I had no clue that I had an option to escape to a shelter if I really needed it, and if it was an emergency. So now spread the knowledge, my jewels. I hope that this video was a help to you. Share, share, share. Somebody may desperately need it, and you never know who you're helping out. So I'll see you again next week. I think I may do a live video next week. I want to have somebody on. I want to have a guest, a testimony, something. We'll see. But you got to tune back in next week. So see you next week. Love you. Peace.